Moving on from that, we have some differentials. 5 differentials for you this game week. I'm going with the 6% mark this season because the FPL website decided that 6% was differential, so I thought a bit high, but hey, if it's good for one, it's good for others. No, you can't beat them, you're going to join them. So obviously, that's why it defines as differential. Now, we're going to start off though with Danilo of Man City. £5.5 million, gets you Danilo, could be starting the season ahead of Mendy simply because Mendy's injury and lack of pre-season training. 3.3% of people have picked him. Of course, we can't have his last points total in the Premier League because he wasn't in the Premier League. But his next 5 games, Brighton, Everton, Bournemouth, Liverpool and Watford, if he's playing in all those 5 and you're wildcarding, or playing until he stops playing in your wildcarding, could be really good player. Even if he plays 2 or 3 and then stops, those point returns could be really, really high. Definitely worth gambling on. Next up, we have Tom Carroll of Swansea, £4.5 million. 4.6% of people select him. 52 points last season, so you're going to play half a season really, not too bad. First 5 game weeks of Swansea, of Southampton, Man United, Palace, Newcastle and Tottenham. For me, 4.5 is a no risk, no risk, and there's, if he gets no reward, 4.5 anyway, what's the big deal? But you're selected by quite a high percent of people. If he does start playing well, you think that percentage will rise to 4.5, and his price will rise ever so dramatically. And he could be a real point scoring hero. Even if he does a Capoue, scores first few game weeks and stops, get him out. You've already got 0.5 extra to spend maybe upgrading Cedric to Bertrand. Who knows? But that being said, Carroll is a really good player to have. Next up, we have some Southampton coverage in Dusan Tadic, whose value is 6.5, and surprisingly, really surprisingly for me, only got 3.8% of people selecting him. Now, he's a really good looking player, and his first 5 are Swansea, West Ham, Huddersfield, Watford and Crystal Palace, has 4 home games in his first 6. And he, for me, is a really good looking player, could start the season really well, looked good in pre-season, the whole of Southampton did, could be really good going forward, and 3% of people could be set to increase that, so I'd get on him right now before the game week 1 starts, so you're going to be in there for the point returns when he gets them, because I'm pretty confident on him, pretty confident. Our penultimate differential this week goes to Michy Batshuayi, who looks set to start game week 1 after Antonio Conte said Morata wasn't ready. Yeah, after only training for a week, he says needs more time. So Michy Batshuayi could have at least 1 game week in the goals. With the goals, hopefully, if he starts well against Burnley. Who else does he play? Plays Tottenham, Everton, Leicester, Arsenal. Got out of that really, to be honest, hopefully. But Batshuayi looks really good at 8.5 million. Only 1.9% of people have selected him. And I think for me, if he just plays the first game, really good point returns, then get him out, get someone else in, and you're looking really good. And our last differential for this week is Manolo Depay of Southampton. £7 million gets you the striker who looks set to start after their last pre-season game in which he started up front on his own, with Tadic behind and wingers elsewhere. He looks good value for £7 million. Yes, he didn't have the best seasons last season after having such a phenomenal start, then doing nothing. He looks good. He's had a good pre-season, and I feel like he could be set to start the season well. With their good fixtures, surely he must do. Southampton man is selected by 4.7% of people, got 38 points last season, which again, for half a season, not too good, but again, he could only be set to improve on that, surely. His first 5 games, should be said, with Tadic of Swansea, West Ham, Huddersfield, Watford and Crystal Palace. He, for me, could be a real gem, and if he does start playing well, again, you'll see the hype on him, you'll see his price increase, and hopefully, you guys can get on that before it starts.